All
We're
right.
live.
All right. Welcome to the Tattoo Collecting Podcast.
Welcome.
So last week we had the Motor City Expo, which I think is the best Motor City Expo experience I've ever had. Todd was there. Jordan, unfortunately, was not.
I was busy at Tool.
But man, we had so much fun.
Well,
Todd's
you could have
wife
came up Thursday and seen Tool.
That's fair. I could have done that.
Could have made it happen.
I had no idea that it was those times were overlapping when I bought the tickets, and I had front row, fucking the best tickets. Those tickets were $3,000 15 minutes after I bought them.
Jordan,
$150 tickets that turned into $3,000 tickets like 10 minutes later.
Boom.
But it was so amazing. But I really wanted to make it out there. I would have had a short window to do it and just couldn't do it. Thinking Cleveland though. I think I'm going to be out.
You had a good excuse though. At least you had a good excuse.
Yeah, no,
not being there.
There would have been no other excuse because it's Detroit, and I'm in Detroit every fucking weekend. It'd be like avoiding it.
It was a great show. Though.
Yeah, well, it was awesome.
You did miss out on a good show.
Yeah, it was definitely busier than what it's been the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
That they
the competitions.
I'm thankful we have Hell City to make up for it. It makes me feel a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd be pretty bummed.
The competitions were pretty steep.
The FOMO was hard watching you guys. I had to put my phone down.
Yeah. The competitions were pretty steep all weekend. Derb was judging. So I was like, is it cool if I get up there with my camera? And nobody minded. So I didn't do it for every competition, but I've got several competitions that I'll share as we get to talking later on. We can kind of like delve in detail. It's kind of cool. Like I've been up on stage and I've judged, but it's kind of cool being up there just like with a camera and just listening and not having any input, because I get to hear how they're deliberating and why they made some of the decisions that they made. Cause like some decisions were made that I didn't necessarily agree with, but it's like, okay, I hear why you made that decision now, but like, it was tight. There was like a lot of really, really good work. Like,
yeah.
The couple year break without having these competitions where we see other collectors every few months or every year, there's just so much more new good work that I've never seen in person. That was pretty cool.
That's such a good point that I didn't even think about how much, because no one's, of course we've seen things online, but in person, no one's really seen all the amazing work that people have been doing. There haven't been a whole lot of conventions where everything's getting shared all the time. People banging out amazing work constantly every month.
Well, exactly.
So people have just been undercover, just growing and growing, doing crazy shit. I'm sure tons of people have just been pushing the limits. Now we're able to see it. That's cool.
Sorry, I was being fussy with the camera.
Thank you for turning a little bit.
But the lines were a little bit longer for the competitions. I think they got through them pretty quickly for as many people were in them, but like some amazing back pieces, some amazing sleeves. There were some people like I wanted to be like, who did that? But I couldn't, because like you're not supposed to tell the judges, and I'm right there next to the judges, so I can't fangirl too much. But it's really nice. I actually, like, as much as I enjoy judging, it was nice just kind of, like I said, just listening and watching and kind of like capturing, like with the intent to share with everybody like what I was seeing, because not all shows have a cameraman at the stage to like broadcast the tattoos that are on stage the way that Hell City does. And it just makes me think it's so important for collectors to see what other collectors are getting and what's possible with collections. You know what I mean? Like that's how my taste has evolved, from like seeing other people's collections and being like, I want my bodysuit to look like this, or this, instead of just like being haphazard about it. Like that being with other collectors changes the way that I want to collect.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I feel like it's hard to imagine something until you see it. And then once you see something that you haven't imagined before, now you're able to imagine something even cooler.
Todd barely wore his shirt all weekend. Every time we'd look up, we'd see that flame on his belly button.
I don't think I would either at this point. Todd, you win it? Yeah. Did you enter anything?
Yeah, I entered my neck, but didn't win.
No.
What category did you enter that one in? Medium color?
Medium yeah.
I was not I didn't capture that competition on camera. I wish I would have.
Yeah.
But
can't wait to enter this piece. That guy did.
Yeah, because I want to
That's
see
why.
who won.
That's
I
why.
didn't pay
Why I really
attention.
didn't come to Detroit. I would have won every award. I can't show off my back end. I'm still hiding it.
in
Still hiding
Detroit,
it.
you're like, I
Yeah.
would have won everything.
Yeah.
I would have won it all. I don't
I don't
know.
know about
Didn't
that,
want to do it to
Jordan.
everybody.
I don't
Black
know.
and gray. They didn't pick any colored black back pieces, and my wife's got a killer one. And
Yeah, I'm totally kidding.
Hers was
I'm so
definitely
kidding.
one of the ones that I disagreed on. And one of the things that I overheard somebody say was, we know this one's won awards and that one hasn't yet. And I thought to myself, how do you know that that's won awards? Because I don't think it
hasn't
has.
yet. It hasn't.
Well, that's what I thought to myself. But like I said, I wasn't judging, but they were like, we know this has won awards, so we're going to give this one the award. And isn't that a funny thing for a judge to say, like, that one deserves to win, but it's already won before, when in reality it hadn't.
I don't think that's fair at all, honestly.
But like, I mean,
No, I don't either.
If I just saw her back and I didn't already know you guys and we weren't talking about it ahead of time, I would have assumed that she'd probably won best large color and best back, and like I would have assumed that had won tons of awards already. But the fact that it didn't, and that was the comment that I overheard, was, I know this one's won awards and that one hasn't, so let's give it to this one. Where it's like, you should have just given it to the better one.
I like the spirit of the competition where it's like, cool, if that piece is that good to continually keep winning awards, that's awesome, you know. So it's like, there's a point, I don't know, I can agree on both sides in the slightest bit on the other side, but at the same time, I really think it's, man, if like you guys felt as though that was the best piece here and that one's going to win this one, it should go to her. Like it's,
but to be fair, I didn't see the numbers. I wasn't paying attention to the numbers. They were actually rating things.
And don't let me say should, I should say could, because I'm not judging. They decide their things.
But her piece and another piece were called back up on stage for like a second look. And that's where like I kind of got to overhear the judges kind of like deliberating. And that's where it was like, you should have just given her the award, because it was okay, yeah, whatever.
That's okay though. They make the
decisions. I hear it. Like there are definitely times where, I don't know, maybe it's the class level of the people competing. Like if, for instance, my back won at the last Motor City Expo, so I didn't think it would be fair to win again. Like, I mean, I guess I could enter it again, but they're all going to look at it and be like, we've seen this piece before. Let's look at the new stuff. Like, we already gave you a trophy for this one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's like, there's like, as the collector, there's the kind of the common courtesy of understanding, like, all right, I've won my awards. How many more awards do I really need to win for this? What am I trying to prove?
Well, at the same show anyways, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I didn't enter my back in Hell City because it wasn't finished yet. I entered all around female and I won that award, but I didn't win any awards for my back, or my chest wasn't finished yet. You know, so there are just things that, like, you know, like I might enter those at Hell City because I haven't entered those pieces at Hell City before. But am I going to enter them at Indy next year? Probably not, because I won everything I entered. I'll enter maybe my armpits because I didn't enter those. I'll enter maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I have anything new.
I do keep track of what conventions I enter what in, so I don't overlap. You know, I don't enter the same tattoo over and over again. Like, you know, there are people that do that. You know, I'm not going to mention any names, but he was theirs.
Oh, we know one in particular. I know exactly who you're talking about. We see him every year. We see the same collection, and it's an amazing collection. It really is. The work is phenomenal, but like, all right, your torso's been the same for the last 4 years.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, and you won every time you went up there, but again, you know.
For me, one of the things that I like to keep in mind,
there's a courtesy, I feel like, when it comes to that, and that's when are you trying to just feed your ego and be the best here, or are you like actually like, you know, let someone else win?
Yeah,
you know,
well, that's the thing, is it's really important to other collectors as well, and I want to share and spread that excitement. So once I've won, it's almost like handing down your belt. Like next year, I want to see the next back piece be equally as good or better than mine. I don't want it to be a competition between the 2020 winner and the 2022 winner. I want it to be like, those were phenomenal pieces.
I can definitely see how there could be a collector's mindset of, you know, they're not a tattoo artist. They don't feel like the, you know, like the popularity and all the things that come with being a tattoo artist. They don't feel that as much to getting tattooed, but they love the environment. They love all that. So conventions become what you do when you go to conventions and you really start collecting. But also I feel like the game to that, to some people, might be entering everything, entering as much as they can. The more trophies, the better. Every year, if it's the same one, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it says 2017, 2018, 2019, first, as many as they can get.
Sometimes, honestly,
Like
guys,
it's a competition.
I read the crowd a little bit before I even decide whether I want to take my clothes off on stage. Because like you guys have been around me when I'm in competition, I'm literally just in a pair of panties, and like maybe I put pasties on, maybe I don't. But like I want it to be worthwhile if I'm going to expose myself like that. And I want to be in a room full of collectors that are going to appreciate my artwork as much as I'm appreciating theirs. If I'm in a room full of people that are just, covered in trinket work and, all of the back pieces that are in the competition are mediocre, like I might show them what I have and then walk away. You know what I mean? I might be like, oh, look at this Russ Abbott piece. All right. See you guys. Have fun with your little contest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like, I don't know. Some shows have a crowd that I want to be a part of, and I want to be a part of that camaraderie, and I want to stand on stage with those people. And I don't want to, I don't know. There's a part of it where like, those are my people and I belong on that stage with them. Like, and then there are other shows where it's like, this isn't even the crowd that's going to appreciate my work anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you show off bio work in a community or a show
like
that doesn't have a lot of bio artists.
Reading the room, I feel it.
Yeah. But like there are certain awards, like my Hell City trophy for my collection, even though my collection isn't even like, I'm not close to finishing my bodysuit, but like that was a really special award. I think that was one of Todd's most special awards too, was your overall male at Hell City, huh?
Yeah. Yes, it was, because, I got it. I reached that level in less than 8 years. So yeah, I was quite happy with winning.
Mhm.
So, and, now that there's been time where they haven't had any in that, I'm still debating, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to win again this year at Hell City.
I'll probably get in it just to get in it, but like obviously I won't be mad if I don't win because like I already won.
No, I won't either.
I already got that under my belt. But like Hell City is a show where like when they're doing bodysuit and they're doing like back pieces, I feel like even if I know I'm not going to win, or even if I'm like, you know what, let's just whatever. But it's like that opportunity to be up there with my tattoo family, that we've all gone through this together and we've all grown together over the last several years. Like we've all been growing our collections together. Like you and I, before we even knew one another, I knew who you were and I've been watching your collection for years. And there are other collectors that like, I know who they are and I love their collection and I love how like just open they are and how like willing they are to share their experiences and their collections. And those are my people. Those are the ones that like I've been collecting right alongside them, even if we weren't acquainted. We were going through it at the same time and we were collecting the same experiences at the same time. So sometimes there are shows where it's like, nah, we just need to get on the stage together and take our clothes off just because. And I don't know. I like it. I like the instances like when Jay Grimmy and I were both at the Indie Expo. After the awards and stuff were done, we took our shirts off and Derb photographed us on stage together just because like we belonged up there together, just because like, you know what I mean? Like I can't really put it into words to really express what I'm feeling, but like you don't have that opportunity every day to like get those photos and get those memories recorded with these people that we've experienced so many of the similar things. And
well, yeah, I've met so many collectors over the years, and you don't always bump into them at every show, there's years where you don't run into them. Like there's this guy I know, and I'm sure you know him, Ken Gerlach. He's got all that new school stuff on him and that. And Ken's a great guy. I like Ken a lot. And I've met a lot of great collectors over the years that, in their suits, some just don't show out, but they've got amazing suits. And I would like, now that I'm pretty covered up now, I would like to get pictures with some of these people.
Yep. That's one of the things that I love the most about the competitions is just like, let's set aside winning and losing and who has the best, but that camaraderie, we just don't get many of us that are that excited in one place in any other situation than like the competitions at tattoo conventions. And I just think that's kind of like a special moment that like we all look forward to. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm not in the competitions, I'm going to be walking up and down the lines and showing off my work next to the people that are in the competitions. And it's just one of those, like, we're just like lovingly appreciating one another's collections and journeys,
And,
you know?
and you're seeing people that have gone through the same thing you've gone through. Like, tattooing is such a wild thing, because it's one thing to, from tattoo collector to tattoo collector, we understand, we know what we've gone through to get it, but seeing a tattoo for someone who's not gone through the intensity of it's like, it's a beautiful thing, but also you just can't grasp exactly what it takes to go through that and really get it. And you see people that are very, very normal looking, that are fully tattooed, you're like, oh, that's a lot of beautiful work. But like, people who've gotten fully tattooed understand, like, that was a fucking journey to get through. First off, it costs a fuck ton of money. Second off, it hurts very bad for everybody. It's so terrible. It's really the worst thing you could put your body through, I feel like. One thing tattoos torture, if tattoos taught me, if I was getting tortured, I would fucking tell people everything. I could never. If you
I'm
were
honest about people, that I tell them that the pain is, you're going to have moments where you're going to go, what the fuck? What am I doing to myself? Because, it is torturous.
8 hours deep when you're really like, for me, there was definitely the second day on my back where, it was all pretty tolerable the entire time. Of course, sometimes it got really bad, but it was all manageable. And it just got to a point the second day where he would put things down, and I just, like, my mind was so tired. I wanted to still, like, be like strong and be able to be there with the pain and be able to even handle it. But literally, like, it was like the world stopped every time that needle would go down, and just got to a point where, like, cool, this is where we call it. But it just, I reached my limit at like hour 10 that second day, for sure, where I just don't know if my body could have gone through anymore. Like, my body was telling me it just had to be done.
Yeah, and I tell people that your body tells you when you've had enough, and they're going, how does it do it? And I'm going, you have to go through it to understand.
Yeah,
you
you'll
have
know.
to understand. Yeah, you'll know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
Well, that's what I love too, though, because you can also, there's a part of you, like, that's the other tattoo collector's journey is, like, say, like, when you've gone through, like, sometimes we feel that at like 3 hours, and we know we got to go through 5 to 10 hours, and then we make it to 5 hours, and we're like, fuck yeah, I've gone this far, I've gone longer, and I can still maybe I can keep going. I know this has been that bad, but cool, we take a break for a minute, we can keep going for a little while. And then all of a sudden you get 6, 7, and then you get to 10 hours, but like, you still keep pushing past what you thought you could not push past. And I don't know, I love that. I love that. And everyone who's gone through a huge tattoo has definitely gone through that journey of being able to withstand pain. Mentally, energetically, physically, all of it.
The longest I've done one day is 14 hours. Quite proud of that.
That's a lot. That's a fucking crazy amount.
I'm quite proud of that one session. I mean, when I first started getting tattooed in that, it was like, well, how much longer can I go? How long more can I go? Because, when you first get started, 6 hours is about a max for a first tattoo. It really is.
For a first, 5 or 6 hours is a marathon. I think 5 or 6 hours is a marathon for anybody. And if we go past that, that's kind of like ultra marathon,
right? When someone says, you hear someone, if I'm like talking casually about 10 hours, anyone listening to that, it might seem like some casual thing, like, oh man, people sit for 10 hours. It's like, some people do, but 5 hours is a long day on getting tattooed. That's a good solid day. I try to push every day at least 5 hours. By the end of it, most clients are pretty done. But
my average session is over 8 hours. So, I mean, I hear 5 hours. I'm going, seriously?
Personally, really? On my body, still were
but that's me though. I mean, there's, and that's one thing about a lot of collectors. Most can sit for long periods of time. I know a few that can't.
I think 7 or 8 hours is usually my goal. If I get past that 7-hour mark, I feel like I'm as a collector and as somebody who I work long hours on my clients. So I think 7 or 8 hours, and I'm kind of, I'm done. I'm zapped. But like I hit that wall at about 4 or 5 hours where it's like, okay, I could be done with this. And I don't know why I am doing this to myself, but I'll keep tolerating it longer. And then from that like 5-hour window, my tolerance does I can feel myself getting exhausted and I can feel my tolerance dwindling. But like usually that like up to 4.5, 5 hours, I'm solid. And then after that is where it's really like, all right, I'm defeated. I've totally surrendered and there's no gas in my tank. I'm laying here like a piece of meat. And whenever you're ready to be done, I'm done with this torture.
Yes.
But I think the longest session I've had personally, like maybe I've hit the 10-hour mark, but I like to be fair, maybe my session with Russ and Tofi when they were both working on my leg, that might have been my longest day. Like now that I'm thinking about it, like I've had a lot of long sessions with Adam, but we never had pressure for it to be a marathon session other than we were just making good progress. You know what I mean? Like on days where like we're both in the zone and we're both flying. I definitely had some 7 and 8 hour days with Russ. Maybe we hit the 9-hour mark, but I don't know if I've ever passed 10 hours in one session, but I have done like 2 8-hour days back to back. So
tattooing or getting tattooed on?
Getting tattooed.
Yeah.
Oh, tattooing. Oh, I've hit the teens with some of my clients for sure. I don't know that
I would have figured that you've gone really longer than like 8 hours. What's the longest you've had?
Like I said, when Russ and Tofi worked on me, that was 9.5 hours that they were working with a very short like lunch break in the middle. Like we took some stretches, but not very long ones. But yeah, that might have been my longest. But I got
it's so crazy how effortlessly Guy works for 10 straight hours. Like time flies by in that 10 hours, but like at 9 hours, I see him getting tired at like hour 9, and like he's still like he's still ready to go. He's still got a plan. He knows what he wants to get done. He knows how long it's going to take. I'm always impressed by like how he knows exactly how he's going to break down the entire tattoo to get exactly what he needs to get done. And he accomplishes it in that time. And yeah, very impressive. It makes it really easy to get work done because it makes it all pretty systematic, but also this to see the amount of work he gets done, but to see how, I don't know, just his work ethic, I think is just awesome where he's in it and he's fucking in it.
Yeah.
That's 30 years of work experience. That's why.
Yeah.
It's also,
awesome. It's so good to see.
He still gets tattooed regularly too. So he's still like, he still gets work done and it's still right at the tip of his memory, what he's doing to people and how worthwhile each stroke of the needle has to be. It's not just time, it's pain, it's energy, it's all of that. And I think the more seasoned I become as a collector and tattooer at the same time, the more I understand how important it is to be efficient with each movement and like to have that plan. Like you were just saying, like Guy does, he has the game plan and he pretty much sticks to it. Like he might deviate a little, but like once he works out that game plan for the day or the project, he sticks to it. And the nice thing about that is it helps you wrap your head around what he's doing and you know approximately how long he's going to be doing it. So even if it sucks, even if it's in this horrible area that's like your armpit rib,
you get these little
it's only going to suck for so long.
These little check marks and stuff like where you know, little baby milestones. Yeah.
I like it. I like having a plan. It makes it easier. And I've started really doing that with my clients. Like, okay, here's the game plan for the next few hours. I might get distracted and work somewhere else, but it all needs done. But here's the game plan we start with. And sometimes I'll tell my client the game plan. And I'll be like, if I get distracted by that thing over there, tell me to go back to what I was doing. Don't let me beat you up there yet, because that's where I want to finish. You know what I mean? So sometimes there's like a strategic, like, I don't want that skin to be sore yet when it's time to come. So like, sometimes I even have clients in on the teamwork, like, don't let me do this until the end of the day.
Well, Megan just tells you what she's going to do. You know, you just sit there and take it. You know, the only thing that I will say is the one time she says, well, I only have this to do and then we're done, right? She finished it and all my reserves were all done. And she goes, well, I got to go over here now. And I went, oh, that's not fair, Megan. Yeah, I mean, you
I
told
mentally
me,
let my guard
Yeah.
down.
Always over explain. I feel like to my client, I'm always telling them everything I'm doing. I try to do it a little bit less now, but also I do it for the fact of like, I'm very on the fly with things. I'll come up with a plan, but as I'm working, I always come up with a more efficient plan. And sometimes that plan changes from what I tell them. And then I'm like, all right, well, I told you I was going to do, then I end up going, well, I told you I was going to do this thing, but I'm going to do the other thing. And they're always like, all right, cool. Just do whatever you want. And it always ends up super awesome, but I always end up like, cool, well, we're going to do this just a little bit different because now I can see now that this is the better way to do it. But I feel like I do that a lot. So what it keeps me from doing is always over explaining exactly everything that I'm going to be doing to my client.
well,
Yep.
that's the one thing about going to conventions like at Detroit, Val was there. And I was quite impressed on how much area she was able to get done in that one day. I mean, a big 5-piece, she finished in a day. And it wasn't like 7 hours and it was done. And I'm like, wow. It was huge in 7 hours. Pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of efficiency there.
I work big and long. I beat my clients up. Clients, if I've worked on you,
I feel like I'm getting
You're
very fast with
awesome,
my work, but I still
and-
feel as though I take a long time. Like if I'm doing bio, I love to nitpick and I love like I can get through all base structure very fast, but then the texture, I really like to work that and getting faster with it. But it's always been something like geo, I get that done fast as shit now, like faster than I want to get it done, but I love it because I'm getting sleeves done quicker than ever and I'm able to do more with my time. And like I get to a point of like at the end of the day where normally I'm like,
You're
all right,
growing,
cool,
young Padawan.
well, we'll nitpick this little stuff over here as opposed to laying out a bunch. And then like the other day it was fucking like almost 9 o'clock and I'm like, cool, we're gonna lay some more pattern down, and just like laid out almost an entire bottom sleeve of pattern. Got that outline done in less than an hour.
Nice. Crazy. Growth, tricks, all
Yeah.
of it.
Growth.
Mhm.
Growth and also growing it. I mean, it's cool, as long as, when we work in our styles for so long that, I get so used to what I'm working in, but still, always realizing, still getting better and still learning more all the time.
Look, that's Brian in the
What?
middle of Fuel Bar. Did you notice they changed the name of the bar at the Marriott from
Yeah.
Bolt to Fuel?
Mhm.
So this is all just the crazy footage that I got throughout the weekend. It might be a little shaky. I'm not the best camera person, but it was a super good time. I could turn the sound on, but it'd be better just to talk over it. One of the things that Brian and Derb were talking about as we were writing up is the change in the faces, over the last,
Oh my God.
if we compare this to what the show looked like 10 years ago, it's like a whole new generation of artists now. Brian was asking like where specific like big name artists were, and he's like, you think there are just less big name artists at the show this year? And Derb's like, no, Brian, there's new big name artists and you got to learn who they are now. So it's kind of cool seeing like a new generation of tattooers kind of stepping in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that's just it. It's like some of the bigger names have moved on to other things like Liz Cook. There you go, Ever After. That's her new gig. So
Everybody growing
so
up.
a lot of artists have expanded and do other things now. They're not
Yeah,
just
it's awesome.
everything. Yeah, it is.
People that 10 years ago were traveling and hustling, now they've got their own studios, or they've got studios and families. So like the travel life, it's one of those things where like you work the convention circuit and you work it hard for a while if that's what you choose to do, and then like once you get a little bit older and more like settled in your ways and in your comfort zone, then you start picking and choosing and only hitting a few shows a year. And
well, that's the other thing that's evolved today, though, where social media has taken over, is conventions back in the day was where you got your name out, for you to get more noticeable on that. But today, I mean, social media pretty much does that for you. I mean, people knew Steve Butcher before he was really doing a bunch of conventions. I mean,
Oh, that's the piece I was working on.
oh yeah, that's a sweet piece too.
This is from behind the scenes inside the True Tattoo booth.
Oh, just like her first convention as was this her first with Red Tree?
Oh man, it was a great
was
show.
first.
Jess is so good at her job, and you know Brian's good at everything he does. So like our travel team, I mean, I'm not the only artist from Red Tree that does conventions, but like I'm kind of the go-to because I've done so many and I can sell products with Derb. So like, so the we'll call it not the Red Tree team, but the True Tubes team is basically me, Derb, Brian, Jess, because we all know the products. We can all set up, tear down so quickly and easily. But like, I think this was the most smooth show that we've ever done together. There were like 0 hiccups other than like hiccups with the facility where like the Marriott was understaffed this year because everything just opened back up. But like outside of that, everything that we could control as a team went beautiful.
Very cool.
Yeah, the pack up, we were packed up and out of there faster than we've ever been out of any show. I think by 8:30 we were on the road, which is like unheard of. Usually we're trying to get out of there by like 10:30 or 11. So we were almost home by the time we would have just been pulling out last year or last show. There's Forrest again. He's in here a lot. Forrest was I just love
He's rocking
Forrest.
that. Well, and he's rocking that mullet.
I'm so excited that things worked out and he ended up getting worked on by Russ and now he's working for Russ. He's helping with the Tattoo Smart stuff. Did you see the software he was showing? Okay, well, Jordan hasn't heard about this. So one of the things that they're working on at Tattoo Smart is these it's basically like brush sets or like 3D brush sets for Procreate. And they're like highly rendered, highly texturized, very realistic human forms. You've got like thick, athletic, and thin male and female forms. You can change all the skin tones.
He's creating the templates for that.
Yep, he's created these humans, and then you can superimpose your tattoo designs on them. Like you can either project it on the form if it's very big, or you can take like the flat, the human form, and you can lay it flat and then put your image on the flat form and then rewrap it, and it fits perfect, like perfect mock-up and rendering to show clients what you're working with, to play with full body layout, things like that. But it's giving us an actual like 3D augmented reality person that you've got like on your screen on your iPad, and then you can put it on your camera. So you can take this life-size augmented reality person and put it right next to your human, your real human that you're about to tattoo, so you can compare scale and size and things like that. Fantastic what they're into. You know, I'm super analog, but I know this is going to be a game changer for so many artists. Like I thought of you the whole time they were showing me
everything in Tattoo Smart in a while, but I figured they'd just been killing it, doing some crazy stuff. That's cool to hear.
Yeah, next time we happen to see Forrest, or maybe we'll just have Forrest on here soon. He's so excited to talk about this, and we can have him show it off because he's got the beta version on his iPad as he's going around showing people. This just isn't. That's not available to the public yet because they're still like, I think he said one of the female forms is the last form that they were working on, and then they'd be able to like start sharing it. But I'm really, really excited about what Russ is doing with Tattoo Smart, and I'm super stoked that Forrest is on board and is like a new Tattoo Smart team member. I can't think of a better person to work with Russ, and I'm so glad that all worked out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Forrest won a few awards this weekend. I think 4.
Deservingly so.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't wait. I kind of feel like Forrest is my tattoo collection brother. Like a lot of the artists that we have on us, a lot of the styles that we have on us. Mike Cole is who I still want to do my belly. We were going to start that before shutdown, but then I started working on my teeth. So it's where all my money's gone. But I think once his bodysuit is finished and my bodysuit's finished, it's going to be like, we've both got like ornamental crazy stuff. We've got bio stuff. We've got crazy psychedelic stuff. Like, I just feel like feel like once our bodysuits are finished, we need to like do something cool, like some cool photos, something. I don't know, but yeah, I love. I think I love Forrest's collection equally as much as I love my own.
It's fucking dope. He's
Impressed with his
really good.
collection. I mean,
He's
it's
doing it right.
really impressive.
Yeah, he's incredibly dedicated, man.
Yes. It's
He
great to
puts the
see.
hours in. He puts it in at conventions in front of people, and that's extra vulnerable when you're getting beat up, when you're getting your torso beat up at a convention in front of the world.
Oh, it's not fun.
Nope. And
You know,
on
you're
those
showing
days,
people.
zero
you're
fun
showing
is
people.
had.
Yeah, I mean, I had my nipples and my belly button done and my sternum at the convention. So, you know, everyone's seeing you at that. You're not at your best. But again, it was something that you could say that you shared with your collector friends too. That
Yep.
you know, you see me go through some of the worst times. And I've seen a few of my friends do the same. This buddy I know, Jeff, who lives in Alberta, he's got an amazing collection himself. And Am blasted his nipples at Golden State. And the poor guy is cursed with big ones. You know, guys usually got little things, but he got big old nipples and they're long. And it was like she blacked them all out. We were just looking at
That's
it.
funny.
Boy, that looks like fun, don't it?
I just realized that our screen is mirrored. So sorry, all the words are backwards. Let me see if I can figure this out. You know, when I had like, so my nipple is not totally tattooed. Well, one's a little tattooed and one's mostly tattooed, but they're not like blacked out or anything. But man, that was a moment that I was really thankful that I don't have very big nipples as well. Like, not that this is something I talk about a lot, but like,
That was
so
one of the
thankful.
longest 5 minutes of my life.
The longest 5 minutes. Yeah. It like, oh, so
Yes.
thankful. So thankful that there was such a limited amount of that super sensitive tissue.
Hey, I you know, I got dime size ones, so I was like, well, they'll be quick and over, so it won't be that bad. But when they go over the direct center of it, that's the worst, though, man. I mean, you just can't get past that whole shooting. What the hell?
That
is
was when I realized how 3D the nipples are. That like, oh shit, you're really tattooing like a whole ass cylinder with a base. Like it's not just like a nipple, like a flat nipple to go over. Like you got to go around all the edges of the cylinder, and then you got to do the top. And then you got to get the little cracks and the little creases.
Each and every surface, all the way around and in between.
It's all coming back to me.
Oh,
I don't want to think about it.
I'm just cringing now, just thinking about it. How it felt. Oh. And what was funny was his big knees was there watching when Megan was doing it. And I'm basically just screaming in his face because he's standing right above me. Because you can't help but scream at that bit.
Oh no, I went ultrasonic. Like I made a noise that I can't make again. Like it went from like a to like this whistle. Like my vocal cords couldn't do that again. It was like Mariah Carey, but even higher up. Remember how she used to squeak back in the early 90s? And
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but like it was so much more distressed. Like I think it truthfully it might have been my soul leaving my body for a second. Jordan said he had an out-of-body experience. Like that ultrasonic might have been like my soul escaping through my vocal cords and sucking back in. I don't know, but I couldn't make that noise again if you paid me. I don't know how it happened. I
came straight from the pain dimension.
Like it started out with like a and it not a noise that humans make.
It happens. I realized how much I sing and hum to comfort myself when I'm getting tattooed. When I'm at the worst of it and I'm trying to find coping mechanisms. I'm sure I don't know.
I don't do that. I
could be that annoying clientele. I tuned out the second day. The first day, me and Guy were talking a lot and I'm just having a lot of conversation. After the podcast, the second day, I was in it. It hurt and I would just shut right up.
That's what I do. I shut right up. I don't say nothing. I just sort of go into this little cave I have in my brain and just go, you're gonna get over it. It'll be over soon. Don't
Let
worry,
me
it'll be
ask
over
you this,
soon.
Todd.
Definitely mental cave. I like that.
Do you think do you think your mental state going into a tattoo affects your tolerance? Like,
I
for
go into it
instance,
expecting, well, I'll tell you because my neck is so recent is because you've heard horror stories about necks being really
Mhm.
painful and stuff like that. So, going into it, I was really expecting it to suck so bad. And funny enough, it wasn't all that bad. I had that one spot in the back of my neck, which on the second day I thought I wasn't going to finish because she started there and it was like, oh wow, it was instant pain. And when you start, you don't really want instant pain. You want just to be able to slowly get into it and
Right. Not
off
just
you
be
go.
fucking buzzed out of your mind the first second it hits you.
Yes. But when it's immediate pain, it's a whole different thing. It's like your reserves go, oh, this is gonna suck.
Right. I got this
And
feeling. I got this feeling about a client today.
but I think but see what I think is that if you go into it expecting the worst and it's not so bad, it makes it much more easier. I don't go into it thinking it's going to be
Too
easy.
relaxed. Yeah, like I'm gonna get through like
I
it's
made that
whatever.
mistake once. I made that mistake once, and that was really a bad session.
Hmm.
And I don't do that no more. I go into it thinking it's going to be miserable. And if I go in with that mentality and we start going into it, and it's not nearly as bad.
I tell
I
you
have
what,
better reserves.
after
Expect the worst,
the
hope for the
nipple
best.
incidents and two people working on my chest at the same time, which were pretty much the same incidents, I don't really get scared in the same way. Like, I don't get nervous in the same, like, I get that excitement, but like, I know I have conquered that. So I know whatever this next session isn't going to be as bad as that experience was that I already
Uh-oh.
overcame. So like, I don't know. But maybe that's also the challenge of it for me is like, I don't give myself the option for it not to be cool because I already experienced like the toughest, like from there, anything should be a walk in the park. Not walk in the park, but like I've done worse than this. I've made it through. I've lived. I've recovered,
Yeah, it's when I first started getting tattooed, it was always like I said, a challenge to go longer. And how much more can I push myself?
Yeah.
It was a test of endurance.
Yep.
And that
That's probably
14
where it
hours
is
was my,
now.
and 14 hours after that 14 hours, I go, well, I think that's my endurance.
Who do you do the 14 hours with again?
Alan Ramirez, he did the birds on my back.
Yep. 14 hours in that spot. Woof.
Mhm.
That's Jordan's least. He walked away, but that's Jordan's least favorite spot. It's that like
Well, I
middle
also
back
ate,
solar plexus area.
well, I did eat 500 milligrams of THC before we started. So I think that might have helped a little.
Yeah, it helped you just like be a puddle through the first 4 hours. And then you started
Yeah.
feeling it for the last 10.
It wasn't so bad, I mean, would I want to do 14 hours again? Hell, oh. But, I did it. I can say I did it and, I'm happy with it. It's like I've done 2 days sessions more than once. And, everyone goes, well, why don't you do 3? And I go, because I don't think I can do 3. I don't think I would have any reserves left after the second day to try to do a third day of tattooing. I
I
mean,
can't wrap myself around a third day because after
I
the second
can't.
day, when I wake up on what would be the third morning, I don't have any gas in my tank. Like I'm defeated. Like I'm in recovery mode at that point.
Right.
I don't have it
and
in my
like
tank.
even after that, it's like you for sure at that point probably haven't been eating as much food as you need to be eating. You're not eating 2-3 meals a day, probably. You're
Mhm.
not drinking as much water as you should. I mean, you should be doing all those things, but it just doesn't always work out like that when you're traveling to get tattooed. And I
Well, the
would say
other
most
thing
of
is,
us travel to get tattooed when we're getting tattooed.
well, the other reason why I don't think I can do 3 days is because I heal so quickly.
Mhm.
And, I mean, I've heard a couple artists comment, wow, you're already healing. And I don't think they like that when they go to start the second day.
Yeah, if you're already healing, it's going to be more sore than if it was
Yeah.
freshly
I feel
damaged.
like
Like
at that
once it
point,
starts repair mode.
you've got to be working new areas if it's like that.
Yeah,
That's
so
just
I
too
think
painful.
that, you know, that's the other reason why I don't think I could do 3 days.
Yeah,
It'd be so miserable.
Bactine wasn't even affecting my second day old stuff when guy was working on my back.
It
Like,
wasn't
at the
helping at
second-
all.
Yeah, the second day it wasn't numbing the stuff from the day before. It would numb the stuff that he'd worked that day. But then as soon
Well,
as
that's
he'd
why you
work
got
up
to use
the
hustle
other
butter
stuff-
helper. That's where you
That-
go.
is that the-
You go to hustle butter helper. You know, that's 5% lidocaine.
I was going to say, is
Instead
that
of
the
the
hustle butter
1%.
lidocaine? Hmm.
Yeah, it's 5% lidocaine.
That's cool.
Do you know we
Try
carry
that out.
hustle butter at the warehouse now?
Yeah.
Do you?
I
We
do.
do.
I really love
We
hustle
do.
butter.
Good.
I've always liked hustle butter.
It's
And
yeah, I love
also,
it.
this is going to sound crazy,
But I really like
but
that
like,
inky
so
stuff, that
I've always kind of
the
like
green stuff.
talked about hustle butter being like super expensive because back in the day it was like $28 a jar. Now it's down to 21. It's not even our most expensive glide.
Fair.
So we
No.
carry hustle butter now, and it just plain smells good.
I like to have both around. When
that
I'm
mango
using hustle
oil.
butter, I
Mm.
like to have the other stuff I like, and then I like to have that, which I don't know what the brand is, like Inkies or
Yeah, I like the
something like that.
Inkies. That's
I
what
get
I've
the
been
green.
using.
I get the green one. It's a little bit more petroleum based. Like I personally, I don't mind. I could still use Vaseline. I wouldn't really mind. But Inky, that stuff's great. I just get a lot of it, so I can have a lot of that, and then hustle butter on the side as a little bit when, just a little bit of helper. I do like that. I just never end. If I just buy hustle butter, I go through it too quick because I like having a generous amount there.
You know, here was a question that
Like,
happened at
I'll
the
use it in
convention.
2 weeks.
What's that?
Here's a question that was brought up a few collectors that I was talking to, and that is going, would you put yourself under, or something to get tattooed?
No.
And
In the moment, I feel like I wish I would have, but like I feel like that's part of our rite of passage. I mean, I hate to say it like that because I would have criticized people early in my career, but like you don't have the experiences that you and I have had, Todd, if you haven't like sat there in pain and you've flown through those pain flowers. Like there's a beautiful thing that happens on the other side of pain. And I think if you're knocking yourself out, you miss that whole experience.
Yeah,
You're cheating
I'm
yourself.
100% against it. I feel like
well,
It
yeah, I mean,
hurts, but
that endorphin high is worth a lot at the end. I mean, people don't realize it, but
Yeah.
there is.
if you just wake up feeling sunburnt and beat up, I feel like that almost might be more traumatic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're
Yes.
going through it and you're conscious and you're allowing this change to happen to your body and your spirit all at the same time. I don't know. I feel like you're
I feel
just
like
cheating yourself.
eventually it'll probably start happening more and more, I bet.
I've always
But
joked around
it's just
about
not
having
fair.
a pocket-sized
I just
anesthesiologist,
don't
but
think
like
it's
I
fair.
wouldn't really. Yeah.
Don't think it's fair. I think there's a part of me that wants to make tattoos hurt less, and that's why I'm okay with numbing stuff. So like, cool if we can lessen the amount of pain, but to be completely out is just like a cheat code in a video game. Like I just don't think that that's right. And also, I think for all the monitoring you have to do for that, that's one thing, and that'd be annoying as fuck. And then the other thing of like, say you're on your stomach, I need to work on your back or however you're sitting, and like I need to move you. Like, first off, you pretty much have to have an IV hooked up to you while that's happening. And so I got to move you with an IV in you and stuff. I got to flop your basically seemingly lifeless body around my tattoo chair.
See, Paul Booth had
Hey,
a nurse
baby.
anesthesia. Paul Booth had a nurse anesthesiologist on staff at one point when he had Last Rites was still open, and they didn't put him under. What they did is she numbed him up for hours, and now that route I could do. I mean,
Nice.
like ribs and that. I mean, if I could do that again and had to do my ribs, I definitely go that route. I wouldn't think twice of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we got Emily here. She just joined us, and so she's about to pop on the microphone as well.
Hi guys.
oh,
Todd, can you hear her?
barely.
How about now? Still no?
Yeah,
Test,
it's still
test,
low.
test. Speak.
Speaking now,
Speak.
here I am.
Can you hear it,
That's
Todd?
better.
There we
I
go.
can now.
Okay. Testing it one more time.
Hello. I'll just be giggling over here anyhow, so I don't think it'll be good.
Test one more time.
Testing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
boy.
There we go.
There's
Good
that.
catch, Jordan.
There's that voice we love.
Oh, that's the piece I worked on Joe Benitez. He's our new video editor and or graphic designer. He'll be joining us soon.
Yeah, I can't see that finished.
That's
There
our
is some
awesome
really good
True
artwork.
Tubes
Do we have
team.
enough space to put that right there? It's okay if not. We got one. Yeah, we got
What
some
if I
cords and
just
stuff.
turn it this way? Yeah, that piece turned out so crazy so far.
Oh no, I don't need more space. I just wonder so she could see it too. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect. Now we podcasting.
Oh, and this is where he's just kind of creeping around
So
and
Emily,
getting
have you-
close-ups of
have you been
people
to a
waiting in
tattoo
line for
convention before?
competitions.
Yeah, so this is a tattoo convention.
Yeah.
This is Detroit. One of the better ones, definitely. Well, in fun and or Todd, in terms of ranking, what would you put Detroit in terms of what our country has for conventions?
Detroit and Hell City have always been my two favorites. Like even before I
Well,
was
because-
like acquainted with their Detroit, they're just my
Those would
favorite
be
too.
those would be the two
Yeah.
that I've always
Like,
known as like
in the
cool. If you're
Midwest-
Detroit, you've fucking you've made it as a tattoo artist at
Yep.
least, and same
Well,
with Hell City.
The Paradise
other thing about
events
the-
were pretty awesome.
Yeah, but the other thing about Detroit is it's probably the longest running tattoo convention in the country now.
Yeah, this one's
With
been
all the
going
other
on
ones.
longer than Hell City.
Damn.
Yes.
Mhm.
Where did it start?
So
At? How has
They've
that
got a lot
has that
of advice
Renaissance
from-
building been there for that long?
It started out at one of the airport hotels.
Yeah,
So-
Welton Dearborn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when
Um,
Derb was like kicking around, starting up his own convention and kind of traveling around and getting ideas, he got a lot of helpful advice from Tramp. So he's always had a fantastic relationship with Tramp and Eternal and that whole family of artists. So this is kind of like in the lineage of tattoo shows, Eternal in Motor City was super helpful in Hell City. And
Very
in
cool.
that becoming what it is. Oh, here we go. We got some competitions going on. I think this is tattoo of the day. I can't
That's
remember
awesome.
for
I
sure.
love that green and that red like that against each other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's tattoo of the day.
That one right there.
I seen that guy
That
work.
one.
Just the
Yeah,
category.
I like that one a bit.
Hmm.
I like it.
I think
a
it's
lot.
pretty cool.
This one's fantastic.
What? No, that's so good.
Yes.
That's so funny. Are you kidding me?
Look at it. It's perfect.
Are you kidding me?
This monster. I can't believe they accomplished this as
Ow.
quickly as they did. Oh, it looks so good. I remembered early in the day when it was just, he had like just the purples and blacks and like
One
the
day?
darkest colors in it.
All day?
Yeah, I
One
think this
day.
was all in one day.
What, use a fucking shovel?
Unfortunately I get a lot of the back of Kosti's head. This is Kosti who you'll keep seeing his
Isn't he
curly
from
hair.
Romania?
Yep, he puts on the Romanian show.
That's his Transylvanian friend. Derb's
Mhm.
Transylvanian friend.
Yeah.
Took him to Transylvania. Always hear about that story.
Well, I know who that is. That's my friend Crystal. Ron Russo
Ah,
did
look
that,
at
one.
guy.
She's got a whole Dino leg going.
I thought this looked really nice. The color choices in that tiger,
That yellow.
fantastic.
That yellow is really nice.
Jesse Vickers did that one. That came out really nice. I got a
I like
tattoo
that.
from Jesse on me.
It's just such good caliber work at this show. Like Jordan said, if you work at the
It's like
Detroit
quarter
show,
size-
it's like you
that's
feel like you've
quarter
made
size
it.
portrait right there.
Hmm.
I was just wondering how quarter size portraits will
See,
heal up. Second, if we
that
give them a second
color-
session, I feel like lasts forever.
What's that, Todd? You want me to go back to that other one?
no, that's Val did that one.
That's a good one. That's cool.
Yeah, Val did that one.
I like the colors on that.
I believe.
Yeah, but that color, but the pinks in that, right? Is my problem is there's a guy in Italy that does a lot of
I think
tattoos
this one.
like that.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't Val win?
I really like magentas.
He
and
did,
pinks.
but not with that one.
Oh, it wasn't that one? Okay.
It wasn't that one. That one won. And that's God, Jeremiah Johnson, I think his name is.
I, like
Pretty
I really like the border on that. I mean, it's all
Mhm.
really well done.
He's
The border's cool.
he's like 30 minutes away from me. He's in Michigan at Water Tower Studio.
There's Carl. I just love him. Dr.
Carl's a great guy.
Blasphemy.
Mhm. Carl's awesome. I love Carl. You'll meet Carl one day, I'm sure.
Can't wait. Sounds great.
He's a character. That is for sure.
I thought this piece from a distance, I almost lost what it was, but once I got in and saw how nicely done this piece is, once the red
Joshua.
settles out of it. I need to figure out a way to get like, maybe get some of these people off to the side so they can tell me who their artists are, not in earshot of the judges.
You could. That's what they used to do.
Isn't
But,
that nice? Look at that knee ditch.
I just love how dark that entire thing can be, but still so readable. Just because that like chiaroscuro or whatever. I always forget how to say that word.
Yeah, that was right.
Chiaroscuro or chiaroscura?
Chiaroscuro.
Chiaroscuro.
This is Gabe Londis.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I just love him and his wife. They are the nicest people.
Emily, you excited for Hell City?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm just excited to see you guys all do what you do best. You know,
Right, our convention. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to see like what Hell City even. I've never even been to a
This
Hell City. I've
win
heard so much
Tattoo
about
of
it
the
now.
day, but it won
So I'm so excited for both
one
of
of the
us to be
back
learning.
piece awards. They give out, so at Motor City they don't give like first, second, and third. They just give 3
I just chose-
awards. Yep. But this one took, like I said, it didn't win Tattoo of the Day, but it did win the back piece category.
someone did that in one day.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
People
What's the day?
People are madmen.
What's the day? Like 9 to 9 or like
Well, they probably started
11,
early in
11.
the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
11.
usually won't even open doors either. Or let
This is
people
the
in, so
one
you
that
can't
won
usually show up
Tattoo
early.
of the Day. Or was this Black and Gray? Maybe this was Black and Gray. This is
This
the
one
category.
black and gray.
This
Yeah, that
one
one went
won.
black and gray. Yeah.
Okay.
I need
Wow,
to-
that's a white highlight around that, ain't it? Wow. You gotta wait until the therapist come, Amelia. And then I can tell you. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
See, there was just so much good work being done everywhere.
Be a tough job being a judge.
It really is.
It is.
really
Couldn't
is.
even
And
imagine.
So many
It was-
people put so much weight in their awards. Like it really is important to people, and like it's really important to collectors too.
It was
You know
so
what I
much
mean?
harder than I thought it was going to be to judge. When
You
I
were
did-
like,
when I did
oh,
it
we'll
at
just
Cleveland last-
know.
like Cleveland last year, or not last year, the year before that. That was what? Maybe that. Damn.
Yeah, it was the year
that was
before.
Was it 19? That
Yeah,
was
we were
20?
on pause, man.
Holy shit. Time's flown by. But yeah, that was the only convention I've ever judged. But doing that was was definitely wild. I mean, the whole system and trying to be fair and trying to really look at every tattoo and take everything in. So,
And
you know,
when
you
there
can,
are
we can
different
dog on the
styles
judges
and
for how they
tricks,
judge, but
I
also
think that's
like
what would get me.
it's a difficult job to do it. It's a difficult job to be fair because you also got to go outside of like what you think's cool. Like, yeah, you might think that's the coolest, but is that one technically the best?
Well, it's like what we were saying earlier, to like look at one back piece and assume like, oh, this one's definitely already won awards, so let's give this one. We're like, but it didn't yet.
Right.
It didn't. You just think it has. It deserves to win. You're just assuming.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Mhm.
And like between you, me, and the wall, I'm talking about Todd's wife's piece. Her back piece was beautiful, and she hadn't won any awards
What
for
does she
it
have?
yet.
What does she have? We've been
We'll
talking
see it
about it a
on
lot.
here when she comes up. I'll pause it. It might be oh, this is what Keith did.
Keith did that?
Keith did
No
this.
shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Some Mordor ass fucking Sauron shit.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. Joe Benitez, our new tech nerd, his one of his best friends came along with him and got that from Keith.
You know, that piece right there, like that, like the atom above it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's so Mike Perry anymore, you know. I mean, you notice when people start taking the other things from other artists
Mm-hmm.
that they've made it themselves. I mean, I've noticed that a lot at this convention. Some of the newer ones definitely.
So there's one
Think that-
artist that I saw, and he had this drawing up in his booth, and you'll probably know exactly one that I'm talking about, but it was like his version of a Rembrandt drawing. So I wonder how Rembrandt feels when he walks past this piece of art that like is his, but somebody redrew it in graphite. Like, how does that make him feel? Like, it's got to make him feel like he made it, but like, hey, bro, do something original. Do you remember the sketch that I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's, you know, and I mean, you know, our artists are always inspired by other artists. I get it, you know, and
But it was
you know,
more
Aaron,
than just similar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I know. It's like Aaron Kane, you know, I mean, he admits that, you know, he ripped a lot of guys' stuff off, but you know, Biomech was new at the time, and you know, but
But he's open
Aaron
about
has
being
his
like,
well, and Aaron still has his own style.
mhm.
Biomech. So
That's the beauty about Biomech. There's so many different ways you can present it.
yeah. Yeah. Fucking infinite.
Yes. I'll be right back. My doggy's run out.
It's a Biomech day to day. Tell you what. Oh.
Hmm. I wondered if maybe I could put some sound in from this video, but I might have to do it from the camera. Oh, here we go. Nope, sorry, still no sound. I'll figure that out later. This is actually going pretty successful, sharing the video right off the camera device.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like how we're doing that. I like it a lot.
Look at this piece, man. Oh, look at all those like disgusting little textures in there.
Very cool.
I see, and it's crazy. Like, how do you make a decision between those two? Like, they're both super solid, super beautiful, black and gray, but one's itty bitty fine detail, and the other's just huge and elegant and disgusting.
Right. I feel like when you go to Hell City, you're gonna end up walking around, Emily, and just seeing someone. You're like, holy shit, I can get tattooed by you. Right? We can do this right now. We can do this really dope piece.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I can't even. I don't know that I'm. I don't know that I'm that like. I don't even want to say impulsive, but I'm.
it's such a comfort thing for me. So I guess I'd have to just see how comfortable I was. You know what I
Right.
mean?
One
Yeah,
of
see,
the
I'm
nice
not a
things-
huge convention, like,
This
I
is
don't
Gabe
necessarily
Londas right
love
here.
getting tattooed at conventions.
I'm gonna creep over his shoulder and you get to watch as he and Leanne, this is Corey, he's
Corey, yeah.
awesome. Corey. So we get to watch as Gabe finds this little cubby hole and takes some final photos of his work from the weekend.
Nice.
Beautiful. It's almost like being there again.
Right?
Throw a VR headset on.
It does. It feels like we're there. I
Yeah.
remember walking the same exact pathway,
Here
same
we go.
hallway, same
So-
everything going on. Looks like
so
some
I-
different artists.
I creep with him for quite a while as he's just like finagling the light and playing with things. But this is one of those things we've talked in other episodes about, like how important it is to get good photos of your work. And, you know, it only takes a few minutes to take a few minutes and get good photos. So take the time to do it. Find a place where there's no glare or minimal glare.
Take the extra effort, because
Mhm.
that's the only proof you're ever going to have of it.
Yeah.
For the respect of the tattoo and the respect of the person getting the tattoo, but also for our sanity and our own.
If you come out to Phoenix, Leanne likes to feed everybody tequila. So
Here we go.
We'll definitely be going.
That's
we're
speaking my
definitely going to
language.
Phoenix.
and what was it? I want to say she had like, it was like orange slices and then she'd sprinkle cinnamon on them.
Yes.
She'd shoot the tequila and then
Yes.
bite
All right,
that. I
we might have to
believe
try
is
that.
how we
We
were
might have to
doing
be
it.
doing
I
that
could be
before.
wrong. I could be making this up, but I feel like that's what we did.
A bunch of the people I work with, tequila and oranges are their thing. And
Apparently
I'd
you
never
gotta
really
add the
done the
cinnamon.
oranges,
Yeah.
but the cinnamon I'm down to try.
See how many photos he's taking, and he can always go back. And it's a nice thing about like digital photos is we can take 100 photos and take the 10 best, and then from there we can get our publishable. Or for me, I still like posting videos of my work because it's so large. But
Mhm.
look at that thing. Look at the detail he achieves. Oh, he's so good.
Who did that one?
This is Gabe Londas still. I happened to follow Gabe and Leanne with my camera to their little photo area, Todd. So I got to creep while Gabe was taking his final photos. That's what we're doing here. Yeah, this was great. That piece, I watched him work on it all weekend long. It turned out so nice. He's such a patient tattooer. Like he works in black and gray, but he works in black and gray as if he's working in full color. Like he just saturates
in
soft
terms of
layers
grays?
of gray and
Like
then lets it heal. And then
neutrals?
he'll put in, and then he'll bring in another layer of soft grays. Like I've gotten to watch Cervena's back as it has come together, and it seems crazy that it takes him as long as it does for him to achieve what he does, but it's so like smooth and so velvety by the time that he's done with it. And like the whites, like, and I've seen pieces that he's done that were several years old too, and they stay soft and beautiful. And it's because he takes the time to like continually like resaturate layers of gray and letting it heal in between. That's the trick. Instead of just putting more layers in each session, he does it gradually over multiple sessions. And the things he achieves really are beautiful.
Wow.
I have no comment on that one.
The back of the head.
That one,
I-
no, I just,
I turned to the screen as
I
it was
can't
there.
say nice things about that.
About the tattoo or about the pain level?
No, well, both.
Well, that happens. That happens sometimes. Everybody's proud of their tattoos.
Did you do a 2-day on your neck, Todd?
Yep.
You did.
Hmm.
Okay. How far up did you guys go on the front? Are you closed in on the front? No, you guys still got that open.
Yeah, it comes like here, but it fades into it
Okay.
here. So,
Yeah.
and
I got-
that was designed. That's, I didn't want the full,
Right.
turtleneck. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 2-day session for a bio piece right now, and I'm just keep thinking about this guy's pain level and what he's going to be going through and how that second day is going to be for him.
Each person's different,
We'll be doing a lot of front throat too.
oh, that's gonna suck, because it does, because it's not so much the pain, it's the pressure you put down as you're tattooing.
Right. So you feel like you're getting suffocated the whole time.
Choke,
And you're
yeah,
usually
yeah.
probably got one artery being one jugular being pressed on the entire time. So
Yeah,
that would
it's
make me
not
feel
fun.
that would make me feel claustrophobic.
So back and neck, for me in the back and neck, the left side was
Oh, this
horrible.
is the cover up competition. I tried really hard to zoom in on what the original tattoo was and then the new tattoo. So
Oh,
we'll
the
see how
bat, that's
successful
dope.
this was.
That's super cool.
I was trying to stay as out of
Huge.
the judge's way as possible too. So I apologize. I'll be a better cameraman next time.
Fun. We forgive you.
Thanks, Jordan. There was so much nice work there, man. I'm so excited that like the first year back, everybody came in strong. Like these pieces are beautiful.
Ooh.
People have really been
Wow.
just doing jaw-dropping work.
That's insane. That was a huge cover up.
Mhm. Unfortunately, I didn't catch who won this category, so I can't even tell you which piece was. This is funny. See that little cover up there? Tiny little cover up, huge back piece.
Well, the cards on my back, that's a pretty big tattoo, but she didn't cover up a really big tattoo at all.
Mhm. It's just funny. You see all these other like immediate cover ups, but that one you got
This gets me-
tiny little corner.
This gets me so excited to tattoo at a convention at Hell City. I keep looking at your leg, and I think we might spend some time tattooing your leg there.
Whatever you want to do.
If you're into it.
I think at that rate, it'd make me the pressure would be on not to be in pain, so I might like it.
Be able to sit longer.
Yeah.
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 I think we could crush out a buck ton. And it's looking so cool. I think that
What
would be a
killer
great one.
clown? Look at the inside of this arm, Jordan. Let's see if we can see it again.
That's cool. I love that feather work. So bio. Is that a bird head?
Oh, it's like a dragon. This is one.
Let's
This was
cover
a
up a lot of.
This was a really nicely done tattoo, but this is a good example of like if they would have come in with like one shade darker of a purple to bring those wings forward, it could have read a little bit better from a
Yeah.
distance, but it was really,
Wow,
really
that's a cover up.
yeah,
at that.
there's a Detroit D in the middle of it.
God
Look
damn.
close, see if you can find it.
Looks a little extra busy in the center.
It does.
Right next to the guitar was where the cover up area was.
I couldn't see.
Yeah,
I
could
couldn't
see-
make
I
it
could
out.
see the-
Yep, the
The
guitar
one
like
line.
took
Yeah.
your attention away from it, but there was a couple little corners of that D that were sticking out.
Yep.
It was like the
Okay.
old English D.
It's the witch.
That's my witch.
What's he showing the spider on his phone for?
That's what they're showing the cover up. Like I said, I was trying to
Oh.
get the cover up, like that the original tattoo, because they had it like either on their phone or on a picture.
I
So
see. Yeah.
like I said, I didn't know how successful I was because it was all
Did
happening
he enter it
fast.
into the best cover up for that little spider?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
It's Michigan for you, man.
That's so funny.
I want best cover up the last time I had it with my Megan one.
I'm trying to like respect her privacy and get a good shot, but we get Coasty's head. I think it's so funny when people get huge work like that and they're so modest when it comes time to
Oh.
show it off. Oh, I was trying to creep in on tattoos in the crowd. There we go. There's some.
You're like, there's one.
It's
It's
kind
right
of
there,
creepy.
Corky.
It's kind of creepy that I can zoom in this close from as far away as I was. Like it
Right,
makes me a
right.
little like, what if people are doing this and not looking at
As you can
tattoos?
see here.
Oh, this guy had a lot of traditional pieces. You'll see him back up several times. Do you have any American traditional tattoos, Todd? This might be the guy we were talking about earlier. May or may
It
not be.
was.
I've seen that tattoo a million times. 1,000 million times. Almost
Mhm.
every convention I feel like I've ever gone to, that guy is there entering that.
I mean, it is great work, but like, I don't know, maybe
There does come a point where how many competitions do you want to win?
how many times do
need
you
to
win
win?
the same award for the same piece at the same show?
Yeah.
But then again, it's a tattoo. It's there forever.
But then again, you could also look
Like
at it
someone
like,
step it up.
I was just gonna say, you could also look at it like that. Like, come on, other collector or other tattooer.
That's like the spirit of
get
the
your body
competition,
s-
kind
get
of
your
like.
body-
Here's something about it though. It came down to I like them both. I mean, El Mexicano, he's a nice guy.
Oh
Can't
yeah,
say
he's a
nothing
great
bad about
guy.
him. He's a really great guy. But him and a friend of mine were up for overall, and they brought them both up. And my point being is he shouldn't even been brought up for overall because is his pants off? No. So his legs aren't done. So how can you win overall?
That was the
Right.
deciding
Someone
factor.
who's got overall is the first qualifying person to
Yep.
be in the
Right.
competition.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the deciding factor why I didn't win overall in Indy. And Derb like apologized to me.
Like
And I was
at
like,
that
Derb,
point,
it's
it wouldn't
okay.
even matter what the quality of the work is. It's
Yep.
the most qualified.
Yeah, yep, and that's exactly
Yes.
what it was.
Enter.
There were 4 women on stage, and of the 4 women, I was the only one that didn't have both sleeves done. You know what I mean? Like everybody else had their legs mostly covered, their arms mostly covered, and their torsos mostly covered. One lady was covered. She had phenomenal work. It was all full color.
Yes, I
beautiful.
remember her.
But you know, who has the complete bodysuit? Not me. So
Right.
You know, I
wouldn't
get it.
expect to win overall.
do I
She
feel
was-
like I still deserve to stand up on stage, like we were saying earlier, to have that moment with those other female collectors? Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Give me a few more years and then it'll be my turn to win that award at that show. But, you know, was Cervena more
Like-
covered than me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not mad
Well,
at all.
it's funny. It's
And I
funny you
talked
say
Cervena
that.
into joining the competition. It's like, come on. I was even like, you're more tattooed than I am. So when
Right.
that was like
Yeah.
the deciding factor amongst the judges, and Derb's like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't like, you know, but like it's like, I told her to enter the competition, Derb.
Because
I'm
of that
glad she
reason.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was a good experience for all of us. And like I said, that's the special moment that we look forward to. Even if we don't win, it's that sharing that energy up on stage, showing what we've all worked so hard for, you know?
hmm
Well, the first time I won overall at Motor City, that was 2016, and you know, I wasn't nearly as tattooed as I am now, but you know, and they had to talk me into entering it. People go, "Oh, you overall?" I'm going,
But you
really?
were really starting to have a lot of nice pieces at that point, and your collection was starting to like tie and connect. Oh, this is that piece I wanted to show
Yeah.
you, Jordan.
That's
Let me go back. I won't, you missed it. Look inside there.
I missed the inside.
She'll show you again. It's so good. There's just this cool, real bright honeycomb pattern.
Yeah, it's really
I want you
nice.
to see it. There it is.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Isn't that nice?
Ooh, that color works really cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I really like that
I did
sleeve a
something
lot.
similar on a Metroid piece one time.
I like it. It gives it movement where it looks like they're going like flat. Reminds me of like a little road.
Yeah, right.
Oh, this is arm sleeves.
Woo. Like it. Smooth. Who did that?
I don't know.
Who did that?
Who did it?
Who's this?
It's my
Who's
wife.
this? That's your wife?
Yeah.
We're looking at her arm. I don't know if I'll get a good shot of her back while she's up here this time, but
Look at all that Winnie the Pooh. What a gentle sleeve.
Yeah.
it's so good. I love the choice of like the muted tan outlines on Winnie the Pooh. Like there's some really thoughtful ways the lines were taken care of.
Yeah, Jason, the one that did that sleeve, retired. His hands can't handle it no more.
Look at some of these sleeves, Todd. There were so
Yeah, I
many
like
nice
that one a
ones that
lot.
came out of the crowd. Like when I see stuff like this, it makes me so grateful that I don't have anything on my arms yet. Like when the time comes, it's gonna be so bright and so crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I just can't wait till the opportunity presents itself.
I feel that way about my one arm that I didn't put a bunch of random shit on.
I can't wait to see what you end up doing with that. Like who ends up
I like
tattooing it.
this. I did a similar piece, like a similar
Like that's what's
themed
cool about being
piece.
at the convention is that you like when you might not want to get tattooed by him that day, but it's such a great opportunity to see way better than Instagram, you know,
Yeah.
seeing it right in front of your face and then you can meet them and like
Yeah, see the vibe.
instantly see like,
Yeah.
cool, am I comfortable with this person? Are they cool?
Yeah.
How do they,
Is this
how
a
do they
Rember
interact?
sleeve, Todd?
The one on the right is. I don't know if that one is. It looks sort of like it could be.
It's beautiful.
I
I
thought
think
it
it
had to be.
was.
Rember's
I
a
think it
boss.
was.
Wow.
It's just something. It's just more different than what he usually does. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that was a rubber sleeve. Now that you say it. Yeah, it is.
Rember's a
Jesse
man.
Vickers did all this.
Oh, Rember and Derb had a wrestling match 3 different times.
Yeah, I remember it. We were in like Philly or something like that, and him and Rember, or it might have been Detroit where they went. And off
Derb's
his fucking
losing
head,
like
fucking-
prototype
We're, like,
stirs out of his
literally
pockets, machines
at
going one
Detroit,
way, his
somewhere they're
knives going
fucking
another.
going off.
Oh, they're awful.
Came back with like rug burn.
He's
Like, that's what
like, oh,
happens.
saw Rember.
Yeah.
Oh, they love beating each other up. They'll like sneak each other too. It's great.
It's funny.
It's a little overexposed. That really was a nice sleeve. It looks a little bit washed out from my
Right in
shoddy
the
camera
middle.
work, but
it
it's
could
nice.
have been overexposed from the camera and a light right there.
Yeah, no, it's really beautiful work. It just was overexposed. Look at how nice this is. Rob Halford much?
It's very cool.
Yeah, it is. Wow, that's who won overall, Andrea, right there.
She won overall this year. It was
Yeah.
me and she was on stage with me last time, so I'm glad she took it
look
this
at
year.
that, look at that back. That's cool.
She
And
goes,
it's
"You're not
cool.
entering overall this year," and I go, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna let people win it."
I don't know
go.
if she recognized me while I was up there, but I definitely recognized her. It's good to see that she took overall.
Is that her arm?
I love
Yeah, I
that
was
weave
trying
on
to creep
pattern.
in to show how clean
Weaving?
her
Yeah.
Polynesian work is.
That's really nice.
That's
Yeah,
a cover up.
Mhm.
I love when people just when they do pollination and just stick to like a lot of just weaving like that, where it's I don't know, I feel like it's very like Maori-ish to do that and not have a whole lot of like big negative spaces that are carving out big negative open areas as much as just like one pattern into another. I like that a lot.
Loaf did that. Her whole body. It's done her whole bodysuit. Loaf.
Like Evan Beers does a lot of that where it's just
Mhm.
like straight, just constant pattern work, you know, not a whole lot of negative spaces. You know, create big negative space movements with the shading in it, which is really wild the way he does that.
This was a nice sleeve. I don't know if I really got a good shot of it. This might be one that like I couldn't do it justice.
Very cool.
Moving on me. I need to have like some credentials that are huge. So people are like, oh, you look official. Make sure you get a good shot
Just
of
wear a
this.
shirt that says like tattoo collecting and then like press on the back or something like that.
I think I'm going to make myself a cool lanyard that has like our logo on the front. And then Derb had the idea of putting a QR code on the back that'll take you right to our Instagram and
Oh, yeah.
webpage. And I was like, ooh,
Please get
good
a couple.
thinking.
Get a couple of those made. If you don't do it, I will do it. That is a great
Well, he said I
idea.
can use the laminator in the
Yes.
office.
We need a couple. Of
So
those.
that way I
would be
can
perfect.
introduce myself and it'll take them right to what we're doing. And it won't be like you're
Q-
taking a video for what you're
QR
making a
codes,
video
though.
for what?
QR codes are a great thing to have right at your booth too. Just
Yeah.
to fucking have your website and everything.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. Instead of putting their portfolio out, they'll have like a tablecloth and then the QR codes are printed with your name next to it. So
Just
you can.
link
That's
it
what
right to a
we do for all of
portfolio,
our
too.
stuff.
Mhm.
You know, if we're
Yeah.
gonna have a booth anywhere, have a QR code, just a huge
God,
one right
it's been
there.
a couple of years since I've done a convention, and like, people weren't doing QR codes like that. I
Yeah,
swear.
QR
The
codes
whole
are
world
great.
now. Yep.
I love this like Bermuda blue behind these flowers. I just love anytime you've got that field of bright blue or teal. It just it hits everything I love. It's
Mhm.
just a taste preference. I just really like that color. It's like a background filler. You know, it just puts you in mind of like the sky, and I don't know, I like it. Bright, happy. This sleeve was really cool. I don't know if I am doing it any justice whatsoever, but I really enjoyed the sleeve a lot.
overexposes us a lot of those bright colors, but I can see that it's awesome.
Yeah, there was
Just
just
a
one
lot of-
ring
lot of
light up
open
there.
space.
The other thing I can do is actually put a light on this camera next time because we've got them. So I have one. I just clip it to it. Boom.
For some reason, the convention was dark this year.
Yeah, I feel like Derb and Tramp had a conversation, and Tramp was not the happiest about how dim it was. I really enjoyed this piece, and then I was
lighting's
like, "This
always
has
bad
got
at
to be done by a
conventions.
European artist." And then I hear
It
her
is.
speaking,
Lufkin did it.
and then I hear her
Lufkin did it.
speaking, and she's like, "I'm from Ukraine," and I was like, "Ah, I knew it."
That's Lufkin's wife.
Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Yeah, I loved that piece.
It's a beautiful sleeve. It's a very beautiful sleeve.
Mhm, those blues are so smooth and
Yes.
flawless. Yeah, definitely no camera tricks. This is a beautiful sleeve. And this is where like they're just they're on a different level than us. Like that's what I dreamed to achieve, and they just do it by accident.
It's a lot to go through a portrait sleeve like that. Like that's a lot of sessions, and portraits take a lot of delicate, like working really light colors and going, over areas you've already gone over. They always look so delicate and stuff, but really it takes a lot of work, especially if it's a color portrait. Black and gray portrait, you can sometimes get away with, being pretty quick with things. But a color portrait just takes full saturation and just real. What's that?
Yeah, there was just so
That
much
light.
good work this year. I can't say that enough. Like every time I see another sleeve, it's like
There was a
everybody's
lot of
just been
sleep
waiting.
this year. A
Yep.
lot.
I think a lot of people have just been for the past couple of years completing a lot of this big work, and this is the first chance they've had to show it off. I think the competitions are going to stay incredible all year long.
Well, what's different this year than most at Motor City is that the black and gray categories were the biggest categories. The color ones didn't have nearly as much.
Now that you say that, you're exactly right. I hadn't even really made that observation, but you're definitely right. Like black and gray was definitely kind of the show stealer this year.
It was for sure.
I've got a soft spot for black and gray, so that's great for me. Like I came up following artists like Tom Renshaw and Bob Tyrell. They're like classic Detroit black and gray. So it's kind of cool to see black and gray showing up so strong in Detroit.
Yeah, I love black and gray too. But I like what what we were talking about earlier with neutral grays is I really love the diversity you can get if you use neutral grays as well. I just feel
You mean like
can,
opaques?
opaques, yeah. Or were you just talking, what was the artist we were talking about with that? Did you think when I was saying neutral, did you think I was talking about opaques earlier? Do you remember?
No, I thought you were talking about
Just
like a
straight gray
medium gray
washes?
wash.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's all he
he's-
was using?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like later into sessions, he might come in with some opaque grays or. if
You
he's
said he
doing
was working
cover-ups,
like he
but
works
he's
with
working-
colors, but like
Yeah.
I can see working
No,
each
he's
stage of
working,
gray
he's
washes.
working gray wash as if he's working with color, not like when I work with opaque grays, like he's just taking the time to like
Blend
saturate
everything.
layer upon layer as if he were like glazing layers of oil color and just bringing the next layer in and making it just a touch, just
Right.
those minor adjustments. And his process is painstaking and time consuming, but man, it's so worth it. I definitely, I don't know. I don't know if I have a
I
lot
still
of.
love neutral grays though. I love neutral grays and I love neutral grays and I'll still work gray washes over top of them when they're healed and things
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
And so I like the combination of both. That's all I was saying, but that's still really awesome because that piece was super, super good for being just gray washes like that.
This is probably the best cheetah print I've ever seen. I just need to say that right now while I have the chance. Like all the cheetah tattoos that I've seen, that is probably like the best cheetah or leopard print ever. Whoever did that, good job. This is an example of like black and gray with opaque grays. This is all beautiful and smooth and velvety. Oh, there were a
Look
lot
at
of
me,
his
That's crazy.
collectors here.
Well, yeah, Johnny Andres did that.
I want to see a
Mhm.
close up of that. What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Well,
Is that a bear?
I think I tried to get into it.
Is that a dinosaur?
They're whales.
Whales. Okay.
Need to see close.
Literally looks like it's glowing, that blue line.
Yeah.
I can't make things out right now, but I can see the color work itself. Of
I
just what I'm
really
seeing
enjoy
looks so
seeing his
good.
work in person
Oh,
because
there
he
we
and
go.
I
That's
play
the
in a
whale.
lot of the same realms. So
The
it's
big
really
sperm
cool
whale.
to see in real life what I only get to see on a 4 or 5 inch screen. It's really cool to see like the needle marks. and
Johnny's
the
a great guy. I like.
the healed whites and like the contrast smashed up next to each other. Like it's great to see it in person. Yeah, I need to meet him. I need to hang out with him.
Yeah, Johnny's a great guy. He
You-
was there all weekend.
Oh, if I should have let you know that I wanted to meet him.
Yeah, I would have. We took you over and introduced him because he reworked my left arm sleeve. This sleeve.
Oh,
Maybe I'll
That's wild.
just make a road trip up and we can go visit him together one day.
Yeah. Well, he said we could do a show out of the shop. So
Sweet. We'll make it happen. We'll get on it. See, how do you even compare pieces like that?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like both excellent, but like, how do you even?
right.
It's-
Totally
Execution.
different category.
It
and way of execution.
when you-
Yeah.
it comes down to execution. You have to. It's you start looking at lines and grading lines in it. Like see that back bit right there, that would get marked down because it's a bit wonky.
Mm-hmm.
You have to mark down like that when you're doing color
But-
versus
But
black
this is
work.
what makes
You
it
gotta
so
get down,
challenging
you gotta
to
get down to
judge.
those technicals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like how you gotta look at like the dot works. You gotta see like how big or how small or how blown out the dots are, whether there's
Well,
blowouts.
that's my
whether some of
wife's
the lines-
Oh wow.
Whoa. That's
Whoa,
wild.
Yeah, that's-
Jordan says.
That's a Russian
Cool.
painter that she
Crazy.
had done.
Seeing those colors swirl around like that gets me so excited about your leg.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, bright, colorful egg.
Crazy.
I was telling Todd, he's got this awesome piece of art on the wall behind him. I'm always looking at it, wondering about it. But I bet he and his wife have an amazing art collection, like based on what's on their body and just like as eclectic as you guys are, that you guys have all kinds of.
I mean,
cool
even whatever
treasures.
that weird thing is behind your head, Todd. Like, what is that thing? That's dope.
It's a sculpture.
That's
I got.
awesome.
And that's where I got that at the Ann Arbor Art Festival farm that I was telling you about.
Yep,
I'm telling you, we got to go there.
I'm down. I have spent many an
In
hour
July.
speaking to you, looking at that sculpture. I really enjoy it a lot. Oh, your observation about black and gray showing out was dead on. There's so many nice black and gray projects that we got to see.
She's not consistent with the shading in that leg. She's this one.
I was
It's
impressed with
different,
this
but that
throughout
last
the
one-
weekend.
Yeah, it was. But again, that shouldn't win best sleeve because it's not the full leg. Well,
Is
that's
that the-
Andrea's leg.
Is that the one that won the previous one?
Yeah, yeah, she's won overall. That's Andrea.
I do know the judges were definitely leaning towards work that was done at the show. I mean, that I kind of got that feel from just kind of over listening. You know, if two pieces were equally as good, but one was done there, they gave the one that was done there the award. So, I mean, I can
like
see
that.
why they would do that,
Damn,
but
that is sick. Who did that?
I don't know who did that.
this is Ty McEwen and
Definitely.
Brian Geckel. This is
Oh,
Forrest.
yeah, of
This is
course.
Forrest's
Oh, it's
leg.
of
Oh,
course.
yeah, that's right. It is Forrest's leg.
Oh, of course. God damn. Look at it glow. It literally looks like he's got a light in his
It
leg.
does.
Yeah, right.
Once I get in close, you can see the details there though.
Damn. God, that gets me so excited for my torso, or like my front, my stomach. Oh,
Yep, that's
That's
Forrest.
beautiful.
His stuff is amazing. It really is. That torso it has is.
I mean, he's earned it, man. He
Yes,
the
and that
time
Michael
in.
Cole, that Mike Cole piece, man, is just insane.
I was really worried about my belly with Mike Cole, but he's like, man, compared to Ty, Mike is so gentle. I was like, okay, cool. I'll stop sweating it then. I won't even worry about it.
That's Johnny Andres again. Oh, that's a collab. Johnny Andres and Jesse Vickers.
see,
Nice.
I just look at pieces like this and oh, I guess you could say that about all the tattoos, but some things it's just like the idea that it takes to make
Goals.
things where it's like you literally see it's a visionary piece of art. Like it's
Mhm.
literally visionary artwork. And so like you can tell that it's the creativity within the person. Like sometimes it's one thing to like recreate a portrait. You know, a lot of
Right.
people's portraits they're not, you know, a lot of people aren't making those up. You know, they take they take a good reference and they get it the way they want and then recreate those shadings and stuff and then take it to the next level for sure. But
There is a
know,
judge
that's-
that I was talking to who was like, oh,
I
if
don't
they're
know.
if they're
I
just
just love to see that
replicating a
creativity.
photo, like I'm gonna give the original artwork a higher point than the ones that are just replicating a photo. And I was like, huh, I didn't know you
That's
judge
my
like
wife's
I
that.
do feel like it's another
wow.
Yeah, this is
That's my
Melissa.
wife's
Melissa.
to be like,
This is
Holy
Todd on her
shit.
back. Megan did
No, it's
this.
not.
damn.
That's amazing.
Isn't that
Crazy.
cool? The way it's like a whole
It's so
world within a
colorful.
world.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's so like abstract while also being defined. Like there's so many big shapes of color all over the place, but it also is a picture
Yeah.
of something very well, but it also like comes together like as an abstract piece until your eye defines it. This guy's got some trial Mac on his arm.
I think it's Japanese that just isn't finished yet. Yeah, I
Is
think
it?
that's gonna be a tiger.
Okay, cool stuff.
There's this back piece again. That is impressive to get all of that done all in one sitting. But like, look at how I zoom in. I'll just leave it at that. I try to be modest. She had pasties on though, so even if there wasn't
Yeah,
a piece
she
Libby,
did.
she had pasties on. I think think every time I see him from now on, I'm gonna give him a hard time because they went around his nipples. Like, you can't enter this competition anymore unless your nipples are tattooed, bro.
Yeah.
Are his armpits done, Todd?
No.
I'm gonna start calling him out. Be
No,
like, do
there's
you get your
Forrest.
nipples and armpits? Look at how fluorescent this thing looks.
I love that.
Oh, I
It's
still-
glow, man. It
I
so glows.
I still feel bad about giving the second place. Well, I guess it wasn't, it was just best of show or not, but I still feel bad. But the black and gray piece was exquisite too. So good. That was Josh Payne and Geckel, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Josh Payne worked on that too.
Mm-hmm. And they did that at Hell City, but they did it on Friday and Sunday. The Saturday guy wouldn't trade Forrest either day. So he had a day in between. And then on Sunday they went back in. So like
Oh,
one of
that's
the
rough.
things, yeah, one of the things that was
Oh,
actually
super-
like,
sounds
this is
super
Forrest
rough.
talking about the program that I was telling you about. But one of the things that was my deciding factor was like when I'd get into the line work on both, when I'd look real close, it's like Forest lines were just a little bit rougher than the black and gray piece. But if I would have known that there was a day gap in between, that might have changed that as my deciding factor. It was literally
Might
just
change
like,
the camera. Your thing stopped. Unless you got more of that.
oh, what? Oh, I see. Right here.
Right, but if we do that one, we can get us all.
I mean, I can move. Get out of this way.
Well, there we go.
There.
Like that.
Does that work?
Yeah.
That's not an awful angle. I can get down with that. Well,
It's cool.
that
It
was our
cool with me.
Detroit footage.
Yeah, no, that was awesome footage. Good job getting all that. And
Yeah, that was really
taking the
great.
time to do that. You know, that was like a straight hours, 45 minutes long, just walking around.
Was that extra or should I do that for all the shows we go to?
I think it'd be good if you're willing to do it. I think it's great footage to have.
Because I'll be able to
Yeah, I
get a
do
lot
too.
of footage of Tampa.
You know, and I definitely see taking the time to go through other tattoos and having the podcast for us to sit here and talk about it. Like that was very entertaining to be able to sit here and like look and see in detail for any.
Those
even
brief
if you're
little
there,
critiques.
you miss
Yeah.
a lot. You
As
know,
a 101 collector over here, yeah, I learned a lot
Cool.
already.
Good.
You know what I mean? Not having ever been to a convention and
Just
just
seeing all those sleeves back to back to back to
Yes.
back.
Where'd your
seeing
video
what's
feed go?
Oh, what'd we do? I don't know. Oh, I see what happened. We became unplugged.
losing cordage. Probably kiddie pull.
she did just walk through here.
There we go. Are we back?
No.
Yeah. You can still hear us, though, right?
No, yeah.
Back in
my
Emily's
head.
head. Bam.
That's a mess.
But I have to admit that was the better Detroit show in a while. There was so many people at it. It was busy each day.
Oh, I didn't
You know,
give
Friday.
Jordan the extension today.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it stayed super busy. I tattooed Friday and Saturday, and Sunday all I did was hang out. When I go down to Tampa with Derb, I'm only tattooing one day. So outside of that, I'll literally just be hanging out. And I think, I'm definitely getting more comfortable talking to artists and kind of like throwing myself in public spaces at tattoo conventions. So I'll be able to get a lot of really good footage there. And that's kind of like out of our Midwest circle. So I'm excited that there's probably going to be a ton of different artists that
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't met or
Yeah, I feel like that's along the boundaries of, definitely the Midwest circle where you're
Yep.
Midwest, you see at those same shows, you'll see a lot of the same people, but then as you move a little farther, then you get,
Derb said
different
Megan will be
people.
down there, right?
Yeah, Megan's gonna be there.
Yeah, so I'll finally get to
RNC.
introduce myself to her and actually like hang out in person.
She's cool.
Tell her I've been stealing her tricks for years and thank you.
that's one of my favorite parts of conventions too. Stealing tricks. Sorry guys, I'm looking at what you're doing.
I mean, I
I'm
think
not gonna
that's
steal
the,
your work, but I like what you do there, so I might just do that.
I think that's the easiest way for like young artists to learn is to utilize when conventions are close by and travel to them. And like, even if you don't have the extra money to sign up for a seminar, just pick 2 or 3 artists and watch them set up. and then like make your rounds, like sit and watch an artist for 15 minutes and go to the next one for 15 minutes, and then watch how they build their tattoos and watch how they handle their client. Watch all the little tricks that they use. Like, oh, this artist uses a rinse cup and this artist uses a squeeze bottle. And you can see how and why one might be better for the way that they're working. And you might, you know what I mean? Like there's all these free ways that you can learn once you get in the door.
Yeah.
And when you've got, 100+ artists to choose from, there's gonna be a few there that you love, that like you can really like just kind of hone in and watch what they're doing. I don't know. I think that's what makes conventions special for me, is because that's where I learned so many tricks. And that's where like I'd watch somebody doing something and be like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, oh, they're doing it with 2 hands and a machine as well. There's no like magic anywhere. They got the same 2 eyes and 2 hands and roughly the same equipment. I can do that too. Like it kind of like makes it seem plausible and real when you can see every movement.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that.
Like sometimes you don't even need to ask the questions, you just need to watch and it'll
Right. Intently
Mhm.
watch. I feel like you can watch and you can, as like someone who wants to learn, I feel like there's always like 2 ways to watch, where you're like trying to watch and you're seeing everything that's happening, you're watching them do the things, but then there's like where it's like really look at it, really look at what their hands doing, really look at the
Mhm.
way that they're packing color, and look at how fast that color goes in, or maybe how many times they're passing over the skin before they move to a new area.
Look at
Like
how
break things
fast or
down,
slow their
relate to how you
machine
do
is
to it.
running.
Don't just like, if you want to learn, don't just like look at it and then walk away. Like you might think you took something from that, and you're always gonna, but just like, deeply see it for a minute, as a, just like looking at a painting, you can look at a painting and be like, oh, cool. That's a painting. And I can
How
see how
many
cool it is,
times-
but then you can deeply see it where you let your eye really travel the piece and
How many
really
times
explore it.
I want to use like stencils, for example. How many times have you learned new tricks just from watching somebody for 30 seconds? Huh.
Right.
So you wrinkle it up first, then put it on. Okay. Oh, you fit it to the body first, and then you apply the
Right.
stencil stuff.
You
and
can
lay
cut it
it.
in half and then apply it in halves, as opposed to
Yeah, like
trying to wrap this around a round surface. That, of course, that makes it way easier
all
for
the
symmetrical
different
piece.
tricks. Yeah, and all you got to do is just slow down and look and watch. And conventions are the best way to just kind of be a fly on the wall and see an artist's process.
And to see a million different, just like that, a million different types of techniques. You'll see a million different ways to do the same thing. And that's what I love. I feel like that's such a great way to learn, is to see so many ways to do the same thing, as opposed to like, oh no, this is the right way. It's like, no, there's like a million different ways to be able to do that. And understanding all of those gives you such a bigger range of how to do that one thing.
Well, collectors too, you learn when you go there, you meet other collectors, you pick their brains and what they did over the course of time. And, you learn subtle things through them too.
Right.
Little tricks of healing, stuff like that.
Right. Todd, what's your next convention that you're doing?
House City.
Hell City.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I can't wait to see you there. Yeah,
I
my
can't wait
first
to
my
go
first
either.
Hell City. I ecstatic. I cannot wait to see how this is gonna go. I know it's gonna be a lot of work setting it all up and doing all that, but I'm excited. Excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, but
It's definitely
they've been
one
doing
I've-
it so long that they got it down pat now and doing it. I watched them set it up quite a few years now, and he's got it down to a science. So,
Yeah.
it's not like it's everyone walking around, running around trying to figure out what to do. They all know what to do. It's amazing. It is.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, this will be my 10th year going. Well, 10, I mean, we're not really 10 because there's been 2 years we didn't, but it's been 10 years since I started going to a Hell City.
That's wild. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
Do you usually get tattooed?
So what
at
about
all?
you? What?
Have you been
Have I
tattooed
got
at Hell
tattooed
City?
about? Yeah, once.
Yeah.
Let me wait. Let me check that twice,
Twice.
at
Little
least
pieces,
twice,
bigger
three
pieces?
times, 3 times. Let me think. I had Remmer tattoo me there. Matthew Clark tattooed me the first time I ever got tattooed at a convention, and then Jesse Levitt in Arizona.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Jesse Levitt. Thinking of gonna give him a whole leg and get some removal work done, but I think I want to give him a leg
You
and
should.
Marcus Leonard another leg. If Marcus Leonard can make his way out here and tattoo out here for a little while, hopefully I'll go see him in Canada. I know he spent some time out there,
Yeah,
but God, do I want to sleep by him?
Jesse's a great guy too, man. He really is. I enjoy my time getting tattooed by him.
Nice. Yeah, I imagine. He's got a lot of stuff I want to learn too.
I mean, he
Definitely see
freehands
how he
everything, you
works.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't work with a stencil, everything's freehand with him.
That's so cool. I dig it.
So you have to trust him because you know that's what it is. I mean, you know, he's freehanding it on you. You don't know what you're getting until it's
Right. I
there
mean,
you
that
go.
Adam did that with my sleeve. I love that. I think that's awesome. I love that trust,
Yeah.
and if you draw it on and I hate it, shit, we can talk about it. It's okay.
I just wanted to
But
wear
I-
dragon
but I know
eye
it's not
in
gonna
my,
happen.
Jesse Levitt piece. That was I just wanted to, I don't know. I thought the side of my head would be a cool place for a weird alien dragon eye, and he did it. He looked cool, and he didn't beat me up, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I gotta do some thinking on that one. I'm so excited for my torso. Emily, I feel like you were about to say something a minute ago. You remember?
Oh, no, I don't. Definitely not.
Oh, I think
This is next weekend. No, it's 2 weeks away, right? The Ink at the Bay.
Weekend after next. Derb just
and then
flew
the
out to
next weekend's
Vegas, and he'll
Cleveland.
come back the day before we leave, and then we'll fly
Okay.
down to Tampa together. So I'm pretty much really just gonna be like Derb's, like, I think keep him sane and keep him on track all weekend. He's actually flying down to judge, like they're paying him to come down. So he's got some obligations and stuff. So I'll pretty much just be following him, and I don't know, kind of,
Right.
I mean, we're not even
It's never a
setting
bad
up.
thing to do in those situations.
Well, this will be
those
one of the
things.
rare situations where we're not setting up a True Tubes booth. It's gonna be Derb. We might have
Oh, you
like a
guys-
red
oh,
tree
Derb's
banner and
tattooing and stuff.
Derb. I probably won't even hang up my banner. I'll just be there as this like Derb shadow,
Is
which
this
is
a red?
fine.
So are you guys putting up a red tree banner?
I don't know. Maybe it'll just be with Derb's banner. I don't know.
Okay.
But like, it's gonna be easy because if we don't have all the stuff to sell, so it's
Yeah.
literally just gonna be like networking and talking to people, and like whatever Derb needs like written down or recorded, or all of those things.
Oh yeah, he's doing a
But-
seminar there, isn't he?
Yep, he's doing the longevity. I'll probably record that again. So we've got the recording that we made in Dayton, and then we'll have another, and we'll get them spliced together.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, that went really well. I don't know if I shared that footage and stuff with you, but that went super well.
No, I seen like stories and stuff. I didn't see.
Yeah, it's like a hour and a half of like Derb giving his longevity speech, and then like an hour and a half of question answer from
I
the
wonder if he's
audience.
updated it. I know I've
crowd.
heard it a couple of times at a couple of different conventions.
Yeah, he updates it each time. Like he took like 3 days and painstakingly updated everything and put new slides in. Every time he
I
does
don't
it, it's brand
imagine.
new.
I don't
Amazing.
imagine.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Derb won't recycle it. Like some of the slides might be the same, but only some.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Like I know we've been talking about like maybe adding to the like longevity of the artist, like repair for the artist. I was talking to my massage therapist, and she's down to help us make some videos that are like, okay, so you've already hurt your back, try these stretches to balance it. Or you hurt your shoulder in this way, this is an
Right, you
exercise
got
that will
problems here,
relieve
you got
that.
problems here. Okay, this is probably
Yeah.
coming from this and this.
Where Derb's seminar is more like take care of your body so you don't have these problems. Well, there are a lot of people that already have these problems. So that's where I think Samantha's just super talented, and like I think she gets it because I've worked on her, and she sees the way that like I lose track of like my own body and my own like space because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. So like there's no lecturing that away. There's
Yeah.
no like there's no you need to concentrate on sitting better, or you
Yeah.
need to make your furniture accommodate you. Like she understands that every day I'm working on a different project and I'm using my body totally differently. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I actually yell at her like, so who works on you? So as much as I beat my body up, you beat yours up even more. So we have this like back and forth of like advice that we're giving to one another. But it's nice that like, for instance, the chiropractor I used to see regularly, it was always like, you need to change the way that you're working. And it's like, well, doc, I can't, like, my mind's not even concentrating or noticing that I'm standing in such a way. It's just, that's what I need to do this thing that
Has to
needs
get done.
accomplished.
Yeah.
Right. And I can't do it any other way than to do it
Do
the
it,
way it
yeah.
needs done. So with her, there's like, she doesn't lecture me. She helps me remedy the issue in between.
Yeah.
She shows me like ways that I can specifically stretch different muscle groups in my torso to make my back feel better. And that's something Jordan's talked about a lot, is by like relieving some of this tension here, you actually are loosening things in your back and balance. You're reestablishing balance. So,
Mhm.
so I think we're going to add something like that to Derb's spiel.
Very cool.
But-
I think that's important.
So Todd, you just got your neck done, and Jordan is getting ready to start this neck piece. And we were going to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, right.
What are some of the for as a collector, since Jordan's jumping into like, because this isn't a cover up or anything. This is his first neck tattoo. And have you done a big bio tattoo like this before on the neck, on this placement?
No, not
So
a bio, not a bio one.
Okay, so there's a little bit of new territory for you, that too.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. So as a collector, Todd, what are some things that, you know, that you could tell Jordan that might make his life and his collector's life a little bit easier?
All right. Todd,
Um,
how bad did it hurt? Tell me some things that you liked or disliked.
well, for one thing, how far are you going down the neck? Are you going down to your shoulders at all?
So we're
or-
basically going, full traps down to the shoulder. We'll probably hit top shoulder cap, but not go down. So basically that to center of the chest, middle chest, all the way up to chin bone, full throw, all the way around, connecting to the back. So, I mean, as rough as it gets.
Yeah, it's a full collar. You know, other people had other spots that hurt. I mean, the back of my neck was the worst spot. But I didn't do the under the chin, and I heard that's a bit spicy there. There's a couple spots on my shoulders that hurt my feelings.
Right. Second
towards
day,
the collarbone.
second day tips. What was the worst on the second day?
Just getting settled back into it.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, because it's a lot. You really are beating yourself up. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna get tattooed. Megan had me lay on my back and move my head to the side, and she did it that way.
His head will for them kind of be like in my lap almost, basically, with his neck straight back. I'm sure.
Yeah. You know, there's a couple times where I sat up and she did it like the back of my neck. I just sat up. You know, it's a lot about being comfortable. I definitely would recommend something behind your knee when you're laying down.
Yeah.
It seems to help my back. I don't know, maybe it won't help yours, but it does mine. The other thing is try to keep your neck sort of loose, you know, moving it around between when you can. So it's not just
Well, it'd be
stuck in one
his
position.
his neck, but
Oh,
yeah,
his neck? Yeah,
yeah,
you definitely want him to move his neck around a little bit. So he's not.
getting stiff.
Yes. Because, you know, you're stuck in one spot. And the
Right.
problem is with your head,
But I'll
if
make
it
sure he
sticks in one
communicates.
spot, it bugs you. Yeah. That beard's gotta go.
Yeah, beard's gone. We had that discussion. Confusion on the beard, but I think we're there. I'm hoping I get there and I'll be mowing down something with the 2-blade razor.
Um,
So
some
yeah,
people don't like the back of their knee, the ear done. I mean, it didn't bother me. But I know someone that they said that was the worst.
I think what
spot they
might be
ever
a
got
good idea
tattooed.
is to get the entire outline done and then just to work on half of it, shade it in one day, and then maybe do that the other side the other day, depending on time and how much we get done.
I
And
had
leaving leaving one half bare and then come back into the other half the next day, so the entire neck's not sore for that second session.
I think the first
I did-
day,
I did 2-day sessions. The first 2 were in New York, and then I went out to Megan, then out to Utah to finish it up. So, what Megan basically did was lined it in, it all in, and then what I could tolerate, she shaded what she could, and that was it. And then finished it up the next session.
to jump in darks
So-
first, like line work, then dark.
Yeah, then she did because the mushrooms weren't colored in, but all that black behind it, she had put that in the first session.
Yeah, I think really getting those blacks in that first session. And then working, like you were saying, then leaving a lot of open areas for those textures to come in tomorrow. And so I'm not going back over the blacks. I'm going back into areas that are haven't been
Yeah.
hit yet. And so probably making a good pass, and then everything can get back teamed from there and then work into the new areas. So we'll see what is achievable today in the first day. But I just do a lot of basic red lines in the center and then try to just get the foreground kind of where I want it.
Just
Well,
be aware when you're tattooing the very front of it, that you're putting pressure on it. And you're gonna feel like we feel like we're choking.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
make sure that he communicates with me. We're gonna talk about that. If
'Cause
his
it
neck starts
does,
feeling
it's
stiff or gets choked out.
I feel like
Yeah.
one thing I would, and this is just if I were tattooing this project, if I were to take this and interpret it my way, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but this is just kind of what my eye wants to see. I would take like these forms that are the most in the forward, like these 4 forms on each side.
Mhm.
And I would, how like when Adam does the line work on your arm, like in these big sweeps down here, he takes that 5 mag and he just kind of like carves that line in, and it's like rock solid and it's there. I think that's what you need to do first. Like just get those shapes, like the smoothest, blackest, hardest outline, like just get that committed, and then come in here and make these lines just a little bit softer. Then once that's out of the way, you're at mag work the rest of the day. Like you go from like a 5 mag, making those bold black lines, and then coming in and crisping up with a little liner where you need to. And then the second half of the day is going to be a walk in the park, just committing the black
That
work.
kind of answers a question that I was actually going to ask about a piece like this, where I wanted to ask you like critique style of, trying to create the best glow effect. If having a bold outline on those hooks there, having a bold outline around all of those, would that take away from some of the realism or the actual glow effect, having it on both sides? Or should I have it more bold on one side than another and leave one side kind of a little bit more white? And
I mean, I think the way you've got it rendered is really nice, but I think instead of worrying about this, like this line here, like this highlight, I think honestly, you could probably just leave that skin tone, especially like the first session. Just worry about leaving where your highlights go totally open and skin colored, and just
Right.
don't touch anywhere
just
that your
leaving skin
highlights
tone
are.
as that mid-tone.
And then come in with your darkest blacks that are in the blackest, most shadowed part of the form. And then that's it. That's all you got to do is just worry about the black outline, and then the blackest part of each form, and then call it a day. And then when you come down here, you could do the same, like hard black outline here, the outline fades, and that'll make this seem soft. And then just come in with your blackest blacks, and then don't even worry about the grays. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that'll all come, because once the blackest blacks are in, the shape is there. Like it'll already
And then
read.
the
And
next
then
session being able to just
Yep.
shade right over top of that, and then be able to have lighter colors and lighter shades on top of
But
that.
the
to even
magic
blend
is-
so well.
the magic is when you get up close on these areas, you won't even be shading over top. You'll
Right,
be
I mean,
shading
like after a healed session,
right.
though, like,
but like your session 2, you'll be shading up 2. So you don't even beat the skin up 2 times. You beat the outline up, you beat your darkest up, and then the next day you're worried about your midtones and details.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
it'll make
So
your
we'll
life
get
so
second
easy
date,
on
right?
this. Yeah.
But I'm sure there will be another layering session and another.
Yeah, I
In
didn't
the
think you were
next-
going
in
to
the
call
next
this
one, yeah.
finished.
We'll probably have a third session, I'm sure, just to get things in there. Any bio piece, I just feel like always needs a healed.
If you
It
could,
needs a
if you
healed
could
session.
approach this in a way, sometimes I do this on my big pieces, is I won't do any of my final whites. Like I'll do like the pastel whites that are like leading to white. And then at the very final session, when I like go through and I nitpick the whole tattoo, then I go through and I put my whites in. And this might be a really good example to use something like that, because then you can pick and choose where you need that like intense white glow and where you can make it be like a red fleshy glow.
I like that.
Mm.
I like that. That's
Mm.
what we're going for. I want to get like if flesh was mech.
Fleshy mech. No, I really think this is going to be a really strong piece,
I think
Jordan. I like it a lot.
I really appreciate that. I couldn't be more excited to tattoo it today. I just know it's all going to go so great. And I know when we see it like wrapped around on his neck, it's just going to be so killer.
Mhm. I think
And starting out with, I'll probably start with with a base outline stencil, and then I'll go through and probably Sharpie render my shadows so I can just get right in on it.
I think this area right here is gonna like tie nicely, like the behind the jaw ear area, like up into and next to the hairline.
And then these areas right here will connect just like this does, except it won't be underneath. It'll almost be more on top. So the back will be a black and gray kind of zipperish effect, segmented backboney thing.
Yep.
And then the
I
center
saw
will
how
be
these were
opening.
just swooping together here.
Yeah,
I
so
like
I was
it.
hoping to make that connection back.
Does he
there.
have anything on his back already?
Nope,
Nice.
nothing at all. So fresh back there, and then he's gonna have Guy work into that
Nice.
in the future.
Rad. He's
Cool.
got a journey ahead of him, man.
Well, guys, I gotta take off here.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
we've been
probably
going
smoke-
for
we'll probably
o'clock.
smoke this blunt, and well, I know we could probably sign off as well.
yeah. I mean, we've had an intensive discussion today. We talked about a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
Yeah, that was good.
but
Emily, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Always
Can't
love to
see
have
ya.
you on.
there we go. Now we can see it.
Happy to be here. Smoking blunts.
Well, Todd, thanks for taking the time to join us. Thanks
Thank
for
you, my
taking the
love.
time to hang out with me and talk with us last week too. I wish we could have
Yep.
set up the security guards chased us off. We had a real cool place we were going to set up. And he was like, "You here with the Marriott?" I mean, yeah, but like we're the convention. He's like, "Only Andiamo's open." I was like, "We're just even better." We got chased off out of confusion. Nobody knew what was up. All new staff. But anyways, thank you for taking the time to join me and kind of go with the rigmarole of finding a little corner to broadcast from. And thank you for joining us this week. Everybody else, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy
Awesome.
our tattoo commentary. And if you ever have any questions about collecting or want to talk with us about your own collection, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Right. Fawn, where do people, if you want to get a tattoo from you, where do people find you?
Fawn
should they go?
_ Baker.
Fawn_Baker.
Yeah, it's
But
all
hit the
Fawn
website.
Baker.
Go to the website,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. It'll direct you there. It all funnels to the same place.
Emily, is there any tags you would like to send out with anything?
No,
No?
no. Just here's myself.
Yeah, Emily's the best, but it's okay. You don't get a tag. Jordan Ruckus is where you can find Jordan Ruckus Tattoo. It's where you can find me on Instagram, or if you want a tattoo, go right to my website, jordanruckustattoo.com. So thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Episode 70 something, almost 80.
Yep. See you next week.